The last week of Inktober prompts was day 28 through day 31. I had a hard time getting through those. I was totally burned out, I was ready to be done, and I still knew there was a whole bunch of the paper left to fill up. So once day 31 was finished, I spent about a week finishing up the entire drawing. That took a lot longer than I expected. Okay, I'm calling this one for now. That took forever, mostly because I was just tired and burned out today. So I may need to darken some of this, but it's just really hard to tell without the radio being done behind it. So I'm going to leave it alone, and I might mess with it a little bit more later when I'm trying to tie things together, as I found yesterday. It's definitely a thing. So, yeah, it was kind of fun though. Marshmallows are like weirdly fun to draw. I don't know why, but actually the lettering on this wasn't too bad either, because it's kind of that like puffy brown kind of lettering. It's actually much easier to do sideways than like this was. That was hard to do. This one wasn't as distorted, and it's just the letters are actually just easier to draw. For this one, conveniently, we actually have a compass set up inside our car that came with it. So I'm actually just drawing that here, and also a wallet we had put on the dashboard just as something to go with the credit cards. So this was actually like harder to draw than I expected. And I actually found myself kind of getting lost within some of those circles and how they lined up correctly. So I thought it was kind of hilarious that I was getting lost within something that was meant to help you find your direction. I don't know, something about that. I liked how it turned out in the end, but yeah, it definitely took longer than I anticipated. I did a bunch of things today. So the prompt for today was violin. So the story here is that I was an orchestra teacher for a while, and I had a whole lot of clothes that had violins and cellos and, you know, rather ambiguous combinations of the two on them, because most of the time when graphic artists are drawing violins, I don't think they put a whole lot of effort into differentiating which of the various orchestral stringed instruments it might actually be. So I decided, okay, I like to wear socks a lot that have different like designs woven into them, so it worked perfectly for me to like create a pair of violin socks here. Now, I made a mock-up to do this because the original socks looked like this, and they have flamingos on them, and flamingos obviously weren't going to work for this. So I went ahead and found some animated stock photo violins and worked with the perspective tool to get them in there and make them look like they were part of the sock to begin with. So the socks I put in here are an ode to all the different things I used to wear when I was a music teacher. And the first debate that would have happened if I had found these socks would of course be, are they cellos or are they violins? Because they're either a violin that has no chin rest or they're a cello that has no end pin. Could go either way. I'm actually a cello player, so I prefer it to be a cello, but the prompt for today is violin. So we're just gonna leave it in that land of ambiguity. So I did that, and then I did like the jeans here and there. And my feet were actually like resting on top of my hiking pack, so I put that in there. And I did this little area here. So it's starting to look a little bit more complete down here. You can kind of get a better idea of what's going to be happening down there. I still have quite a lot to finish. So I think it's pretty safe to say that I'm probably going to like spend the rest of this week finishing this up. So it's not going to be finished by the 31st. I'll have all the prompts done by the 31st, but not all the extra stuff, because it just takes a while. And I'm going to like frame this and put it on my wall, so I want it to look good. So yeah, I am happy with how those turned out though. I think it's convincing. I think they kind of look like they're embroidered. It's kind of cool. So what I drew here was Weaver's Needle, which is a 1,000 foot high rock. It's a landmark that you can see from pretty far away from the superstitions, actually. It really kind of sticks out from the landscape. And it's very cool. I mean, I've actually walked around the base of it. It's really neat. and people do rock climb up it, I guess. But the whole area is volcanic, so it's an area of tougher volcanic rock that the other things around it eroded away from. That was not easy to draw. It was one of those things that I looked at and I was like, I could probably just kind of wing it, with shading and whatnot, but no. Turned out not to be the case. Part of what made it so difficult actually is just the fact that it's diagonal on this picture. So I had to really think very carefully about my lines and make sure that I didn't make it look like it was at a funny angle. So yeah, that was the final day of Inktober. And my plan is to spend the rest of the weekend going through and finishing the whole drawing. So I still have a few things left to do, but everything that had to do with the prompts is done. And this has been a lot of fun. I am exhausted. I wanted to see how far I could push myself, and I definitely pushed myself. Okay, this is interesting. So it is the 3rd of November. So my plan is still to try and post this tomorrow. We'll see. And this has turned out very interesting. So if you were watching, I went in and you saw me doing some things with the hand, and you're probably wondering what I was doing. I had decided that the hand texture was just a bit too distracting. It was too much. And I wanted to kind of smooth it out a little bit. Part of it was I felt like it was making the hand not look feminine enough. It didn't really fit the look I was going for, but I of course still want texture. I just didn't want like too much texture. And then I went into the graham cracker. I'm quite happy with how the graham cracker turned out. I really especially like this this contrast that we have in here with the highlights and the shadows. And then of course I went into the marshmallow, and okay, at first I when you're using like any kind of pen, especially not quite the way you're supposed to be using it, like I'm in here kind of shading with this almost like it's a pencil, okay? And I'm using it kind of upside down, so it like really has like a very light ink flow. But unfortunately, every once in a while, just like a ballpoint pen, the ink kind of like poops on the page. I don't know how else to put that, but you get like little globs, and they kind of get, suddenly an area ends up darker than you expected. So that happened right there. And at first I was like, oh no, because it really wasn't supposed to be like that dark of a shadow. But then I kind of decided I liked it. Thought it looks kind of cool. Because this whole thing, I'm using the reference photo, but I'm not like exactly copying it. Like I am definitely going in and like emphasizing the highlights and the shadows kind of as I see fit. And I thought, I actually really like how that turned out. It's kind of cool. The whole marshmallow has like more emphasis on its texture than it does in the photo. And I didn't know if I would like that, but I actually really do like it. I think it's cool. It's kind of grungy, interesting look about it. So pretty happy with how that turned out. It took a while. You can probably tell, it took me a long time. But yeah, that's pretty neat. So I feel like this is a good opportunity for me to take a little break. And then I gotta get going with the marathon again. So I'm gonna go up and start working up here for a while, because a lot of this is kind of like that lighter shading with the light pen, with the one that's like nearly dried up, and it requires a level of patience that I don't think I have anymore. So we'll go up here, and this area is pretty shadowed, and I'll work on that. Okay, so it is November 5th, and I do feel like I am seeing the finish line now. So, got all this mostly done up here. I'm going to go through here and finish putting in just a little more shading around this area. So it is going to be lighter, but not that light. And I need to do this area, which, like I said before, is not particularly dark, so I'm hoping it won't take forever. And I need to do some of this around here. And the mirror still. I mean, it's some stuff, but I'm kind of hoping it won't take as long as this area did. This area just took a long time because I had to make it so dark. So, and I had to go over this kind of a lot to get rid of some of the extra texture that was drawing the eye too much. I do really like how this turned out though. I did this yesterday. And I think it is really giving that 3D effect that I was going for, so I'm pretty happy about it. Now in the reference photo, this area here is darker, but I may just leave it alone because I kind of like the way it looks there. I don't really feel like it's a problem. So that's a lot of what I'm doing here. You know, I'm using reference photos, but they're kind of like just a starting off point, and I spend a lot of time kind of like live editing them as I'm working like with the drawing itself and kind of deciding what elements I'm going to take and what I'm going to exaggerate and what things I'm going to maybe even like change around. So that's just part of the process here. So I've definitely hit that point today where I'm like completely unable to judge what is and isn't good and what I need to work on more and what I don't. Like it's like your brain just gets really tired and you lose the ability to discern things like that. I don't know. I mean, I am just having one of those days where and I think part of it is I'm very concerned with how this part is going to look because it's kind of my favorite part of it. So I'm like obsessing over every little detail, probably at a level beyond what's remotely necessary. So this is one of those points where I'm like, I have got to just pull the plug and walk away. Like I'm not going to make good decisions when I'm in this frame of mind. Let me tell you, I'm going to make impulsive, poorly thought out decisions. So this is a good time to just come back to it tomorrow, I think. Like, it's aggravating because objectively, I know logically this part looks good. Like I should leave it alone. But like, I just, I feel like I gotta pick at it. It's terrible. I don't know why I get that way sometimes, but yeah, this is when I have to exercise every ounce of willpower I have and just walk away. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go have a snack. It might be a Reese's. So I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna try and get some sleep. I think that might be part of the problem also, is bad sleep last night. So it's Thursday. And it has been a week since Inktober ended, and I feel like I've got to be done with this soon. And I think realistically, I might actually be done with it tomorrow. Friday is a day I like to kind of work for a while. Friday night is a good night for that, and I kind of like watch Dateline and do my drawings. So, yeah. See, I'm having a hard time even pulling myself away right now. Reese's bribery. Okay. It is 3:30 in the morning, November 9th. And I'm done. I'm done with it, guys. Oh my God, I'm finished. I don't even know what to say. I am just worn out. I'm trying to get a good camera angle here. Let me, maybe that's better. Yes. I'm exhausted. So, I keep looking around being like, is there something I missed? Is there something I missed? I think I'm just gonna, go to bed and give myself a chance to come back and look at it and see if I really, really think it's done. But oh my gosh, I think it might be done. It's pretty exciting, I'm telling you. So I'm a little nervous about taking the tape off. I'm a little worried. Gonna do it really, really slowly. I seem to remember that blow dryers can help with that if it's like sticking too much, and it's been on there for a while, so that could happen. Don't know. Gonna think about that one for a bit, I think. This is crazy. Taking that tape off took a million years. It was like 15 minutes, but nothing tried to rip. So what that tells me is that the paper that comes in the roll is like higher quality than the stuff that's in the sketchbooks, even though it's labeled as the same paper. That's my opinion anyway. Don't know. But that's super exciting.